Shedeur Sanders, Travis Hunter. They're stars in the making. I'm going to tell you why and how dominant they can be in the Pac 12 this season on today's episode of Locked On Buffs.
You are Locked On Buffs, your daily podcast on the Colorado Buffaloes. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, everybody? This is Locked On Buffs. I'm your host, Kevin Borwood. Today's episode, we got a good one. We're going to be talking about Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter. They have star potential. Some might even say they're stars already, but I'm going to tell you how they could take over the Pac-12. There's more big Colorado to the Big 12 rumors. We're going to talk about those. And then we're going to talk about a freshman, someone who could start right away, be a key contributor right away that we haven't talked about yet. But before we do, I want you guys to know that this episode is brought to you by Bird Dogs. Go to birddogs.com/lockedon, and when you enter promo code LockedOnCollege, they'll throw in a free custom Bird Dogs Yeti-style tumbler with every order. Okay, so as we all know, Colorado is headlined by 50 transfers around there. I don't know what the exact number is anymore because there's just been so many. There's around 50 transfers, though, in and out, and two of them are the ones that kind of have been leading the headlines, taking the headlines, because they're the most popular, plus they're probably the best too of all of them. Travis Hunter, Shedeur Sanders. I think a lot of people, specifically when it comes to Shedeur, more people are doubting Shedeur than they're doubting Travis. On3 already ranked Travis as one of the top 30. I think he was 31st. So we'll say top 35 players in college football. They already think that he's one of the better players. He just didn't have a lot of opportunity at Jackson State because of injury. So he's already kind of viewed as someone who could be a star. Shedeur is someone who many people question. They think there's going to be a huge jump or a huge difficulty because of the jump from Jackson State to Colorado. And now, while I think there's going to be a bit of adjustment period, because one, he's learning his third offense in 3 years. He has a bunch of new receivers to throw to. Defenses are going to be better. I think the only adjustment for Shedeur Sanders is he's probably just going to have to dial back the gunslinger mentality at times. I think we saw it in the spring game a few times. I don't think he threw that many incompletions during the spring game. I would say maybe 5 or 6. I would say 4 of them were passes that I think he got a little greedy on and wanted to show off the arm strength and just hum it in there. And I don't think he's going to be able to do that all the time against Pac-12 defenses. And I think that's going to be the biggest adjustment for him. So just decision making. But he's working with Tom Brady this offseason, so I'm sure that's something they'll go over. And then Travis Hunter, he's someone who plays both ways, as we all know. He's someone who defenses can't guard him, receivers can't get by him. He just has star written all over him. And so if these two have, I would say, even like halfway decency, we'll say above average seasons, we'll call it that. They have above average seasons. This Colorado team should be making a bowl game. That's how impactful they'll be because Travis Hunter's on offense and defense. So if he's shutting down a receiver for the most part and Shedeur Sanders is getting him the ball on offense, that means good things are happening. That means great things are happening. So I think these two are obviously star bound. I think the Pac-12, not renowned for their dominant defense. I think Utah is the only program that has a defense where it's like, oh, shoot, that's a good defense right there. Everyone else, I wouldn't worry about it. And so I think that's why Shedeur is – I think there's an adjustment period. I'm not going to lie to you. I think there's a big difference in playing USC or Utah compared to playing, I don't know, North Carolina A&T or someone like that. Or North Carolina Central, whatever it may be. I don't know if there's that big of a difference because, like you guys say in the comments frequently, these guys are all D1 athletes, yes, but the ones here are theoretically better. So Shedeur Sanders might just have to quick adjustment period. I think playing TCU Nebraska, while it's a tough open, he's going to get him battle tested. They're going to be ready. They're going to be ready for anything that you throw at them along the way. And then I saw a CBS Sports article that kind of emulated what I was saying. They talked about all the transfers in the Pac-12 that are set to make an instant impact, and both obviously Travis Hunter and Shedeur were featured. They said Hunter famously flipped from Florida State to Jackson State during the 2022 cycle. Top recruit from that class is headed to the Power 5 finally. After nabbing 2 picks, one of which went for a pick 6 as a corner, scored 4 touchdowns as a receiver in his freshman season, Hunter brings elite speed and a diverse skill set to Colorado. Given the huge spotlight Sanders brings to Boulder, Hunter will have a chance to cement himself as one of college football's most electric players, and I think he'll do that. We don't have a true two-way star. We haven't had that in years. I think the truest two-way star that I think was like a really good at both spots, probably Miles Jack. He was a really great linebacker, NFL linebacker at that, and really good running back. I think Adoree Jackson, you can make an argument, but Miles Jack was the one for me at UCLA. And then they talked about Shedeur, saying Sanders made it clear from his first day on the job that his son will be the Buffs quarterback. But this isn't the case of nepotism. The youngest Sanders received Power 5 offers as a 3-star prospect in the class of 2021, proved he could play during his 2 years at Jackson State, threw for 70 touchdowns, 14 interceptions in 2 years to 70 touchdowns. Pretty freaking good. He also amassed a 23-3 record as a starter and broke a ton of records at Jackson State. Again, adjustment period for him, just reading defenses. I think that's something that he'll pick up during fall and spring. I think a lot of people want to compare him to Cam Ward, but the biggest difference between him and Cam Ward and why Shedeur should have an easier transition, he's a better passer. He has a better pocket presence than Cam Ward. Cam Ward is probably a better athlete. And so when things go wrong for Cam Ward, he likes to run around. He likes to evade pressure, like running out of the pocket. Obviously, all quarterbacks want to evade pressure. He wants to run out of the pocket. He wants to maybe run in a few circles, maybe do a little 360 throw or something. Shedeur Sanders, that's not his game. And that's okay, because that means it could help him with his passing. He's always looking downfield to get the ball downfield and will take off if needed. I don't think, based off watching his game, I don't think he likes to run that much, but he will run, which, I mean, as long as you're going forward, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how fast you are. It doesn't matter how many yards you're getting. If you're getting 5 yards on 2nd and 3 or 2nd and 10, you're making it easier for 3rd down. So we're going to see. I think you guys know I think you guys all think that they're going to be stars. So if I had to do a stat prediction right now, I'd go Shedeur Sanders. We'll go 3,000 yards, 3,012 actually, 3,012 yards. We'll go 24 touchdowns. I think the touchdown number is going to take a little bit of a hit just because he's going to have a really good running game. And I think it's harder at this level to kind of be airing it out all the time. And then he's really smart with the ball. So I'm going to go 7 interceptions. I feel like that's kind of been his average. We'll go 6. We'll go 7. Travis Hunter, I think he's going to have like 600 yards receiving, 7 touchdowns, and then on defense, I think he's going to grab 3 or 4 picks. I think it's going to be a huge season for them, but we'll just have to wait and see. Before we move on to our next topic, again, this episode is brought to you by Bird Dogs. Bird Dogs, they make you look good. Bird Dogs stretchy khaki shorts are designed to fit slimmer through the thigh and leg, give you a truly sculpted look. Bird Dog shorts do the exact same thing as Lululemon, but they fit way better. They fit way better than regular shorts that are made of stiff, restricting cotton. You can wear Bird Dogs pretty much anywhere. I've worn them to a graduation that was outside. I wore them to play softball. They're kind of dynamic to where they look really good, but they're also super comfortable where you can run around in them. So go to birddogs.com/lockedon and enter promo code LockedOnCollege for a free Yeti style tumbler with your order. That's birddogs.com/lockedoncollege for a free Yeti style tumbler. You won't want to take your Bird Dogs off. You won't want to take your Bird Dogs off. We promise. They are super comfortable. They're just, those are the shorts. I think they're the premier shorts in the short game. Okay. We talked about Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders. They're going to have a huge impact this next coming year. Now it's time to talk about the Big 12 rumors. If you guys will go online and you type in Colorado to the Big 12, as I'll do right now, just to tell you what the first article that pops up is, there's been a lot of misleading reports. They're both from 2 days ago. And they say Colorado, Arizona set to join the Big 12. And they're like making it seem like it's done deal. It's not a done deal. I think that's kind of been the confusion. It's not a done deal. I'm begging that you guys listen. Listen to me, and then I'll let you know when it's a done deal, because I don't lie to you guys. Come on now. But here's the thing. They want, first of all, I'll give you an insight into writing and what stories get you a lot of attention. Before I do, I want to thank you guys for making Locked On Buffs your first listen every day. Everydayers, I appreciate you guys. That's what I call my everyday listeners. Comment below if you're an everydayer. Comment below some questions. We have a great guest tomorrow. We got Adam from 24/7 coming on, from Buffs 24/7, or the Herd Buffs 24/7. I think it's Buffs 24/7. Buffs 24/7. Yeah. Buff Stampede, .com. I was close. Buff Stampede. We got Adam from Buff Stampede coming on. It's gonna be a great episode, so make sure to tune in. Back to what I was talking about. So, as a writer myself, who always looks at his analytics because I like to see what you guys are interested in, that helps me not decide what to write about, but it helps me if it's possible to come up with a topic that is trending. Helps me do that. Believe it or not, college expansion, realignment is one of the bigger topics. So, in months like, we'll say May, June, July, May through July, really, it's really slow in the sports world, especially specifically the college sports world. Obviously, there's like the MLB going on, but NBA is about to wrap up. So NFL is over, college football is over, college basketball is over, NBA is about to wrap up, and then it just leaves with baseball. So that means there's not a lot of things happening. Luckily for me over here at Colorado, when I cover Colorado, there's a lot happening. Coach Prime is always making headlines. There's always people talking about him, so allows me to talk about them. But other schools do not have that same cachet. So shout out Coach Prime for being such a guy, polarizing figure. Helps me out, helps me do my job. But people try to write about things to get certain metrics up, if you will. And so expansion has been one of those things. I think it's one of the more interesting topics out there. And I think that people who are reporting on it, well, most people, some of the people that are reporting on it are leaning very heavily towards one side or the other. And so a lot of the people that are reporting Colorado to the Big 12, they're all Big 12, I won't say supporters, enthusiasts, Big 12 backers, if you will. I don't know. They have an affinity for the Big 12. And so the more they report it, the more people write about it and the more clicks they get. Obviously, we live in a clickbait world, but it's not done yet. It's not even a done deal. I've said it before and I'll say it again. The Colorado has to go through the regions. They have a regions meeting coming up, and the Pac-12 is expected to announce a deal anytime now. So why would they leave right now, right before the deal is about to come out? I don't think it's possible. I saw an article written by John Wilner, and I'm going to pull up the projections on what was said. So in his article with the Mercury News, he kind of projected. He said these are assuring fixed amounts for college football and NCAA tournaments, including escalators for regular season media rights. The hotline predicts the following distribution. So that's what he calls his writing stuff. So Big 10, 61 million per school. Shout out to them, getting that bag. SEC 53, Big 12 44, ACC 42, Pac-12 36. And he says without the Comcast mess, the Pac-12 would be at 40. I don't know if $6 million is enough to persuade Colorado to leave. They said if it was a few $1 million, they would stay. I think, and this is just projection, so the number could be higher, could be lower as well. We don't know. But again, all the people are reporting Colorado to the Big 12 is a done deal. It's not a done deal. Maybe it is behind closed doors. Maybe it's not. I don't think it is because they will probably want to hear the Pac-12 deal. So don't get tricked. Don't get tricked by those reports out there because obviously Colorado to the Big 12. Big 12. My dang mic unplugged. Obviously Colorado to the Pac-12 has had some steam for a while now, but that doesn't mean it's happened yet. And I think we all need to just give it a second, let it breathe, let it breathe a little bit. So that way we're not getting tricked in the future. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Coming up next, Omarion Miller. Is he the recruit that can step up for Colorado? Is he the guy that can be the rising star for these Buffs next season? I'll talk about that when we come back. Welcome back. We are going to be talking about a freshman who I think has the chance to be an immediate impactor. We've already talked, and obviously you guys know how I feel about Cormani. You know how I feel about Dylan Edwards. These guys are all really good. I think Dylan Edwards probably saw his role slashed in half thanks to the arrival of Alton McCaskill. I think him and Kavosi Smoke, we're gonna duke it out for that starting job, but Alton McCaskill is the best running back in that room right now. So it's gonna be tough for Edwards to kind of take that spot. I do think that he'll have a role. He's too fast to not. I think Sean Lewis wants his speed on the field. Cormani McLean, I think I don't know if he starts right away, but I think he'll be in the rotation. I think obviously at the corner department, they got Omarion Cooper, not to be confused with Omarion Miller, the Florida State transfer Omarion Cooper. He's a much more experienced corner at the college level, played at Florida State. I think they're going to pair him with Travis Hunter at first, and then I think Cormani will kind of ease his way into the lineup. I don't know if he starts as a full-time starter right away, but I do think he'll play a lot. And then Adam Hopkins is the other 4-star recruit, a wide receiver out of Georgia. Very good. But something about Omarion Miller, he stands out to me. He's 6'2", Louisiana kid. They got him away from Nebraska and LSU. That's how bad he wanted to be here. They recruited him away from Brian Polian, Mickey Joseph, who was at Nebraska. Arkansas wanted him. Kenny Guyton was after him, and they still got him. 6'2", big bodied, 190. He'll probably gain some muscle at the college level. His high school stats are unreal. His speed is a little bit of a mystery. He looks fast on the field. I think nowadays when when talent evaluators and like the recruiting analysts evaluate speed, they like to go off track numbers. And from what I'm reading, he didn't run track. He might have run track during his later years in high school, but he did not run track when they wrote his report. So they weren't able to gauge how fast he truly is. But they said he's pretty fast. So we love some speed. He's tall, has good size, plenty of they think he has plenty of mass to add to his frame so he could get bigger, stronger. Sneaky initial burst, which is something that really helps. I think if defensive backs underestimate your speed, they kind of maybe get a little comfortable, and then all of a sudden you blow by him. I'll read you part of his recruiting, his scouting report. Plays with adequate top-end speed, good in the air, and competitive in contested situations. Natural high punter with clear red zone mismatch potential. That's what I like right there. They have Jimmy Horn, Xavier Weaver, which I talked about. He's going to be one of the stars on this team, I think. He's someone who is 6. I think they're around the same height. So he's a red zone guy, jump ball guy. Jimmy Horn, not so much, smaller. Travis Hunter, I think he's got that potential as well. This guy specializes in it. Displays above average, better than expected lateral mobility relative to size and build. Tracks well downfield and adjusts naturally on the fly. Provides solid volume and great big play production as a sophomore. As a sophomore, he had 27.8 yards per catch and 8 touchdowns. Speed is unverified, no track testing or testing data. Shows above acceleration, but can improve top gear to separate more often. We'll need to expand his route tree to compete at the higher level. I think in the Sean Lewis offense, I think he'll be able to do that. But something about him, just a big body guy who's fast, can go up and get the ball. I think that helps Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur's top target was his biggest target at Jackson State, Shane Hooks, who's now at Ole Miss. No, is he at? Where'd he end up? I forgot where he ended up now at this point. He was in and out. He was all over the place. Let's see, where did he end up? He ended up Auburn. He started off at Ole Miss and then flipped. It was a whole thing. I was writing about it. It's hard to keep track. But either way, that was Shedeur's favorite target. Bigger guy, jump ball guy, could stretch the field. Obviously, Shedeur was favoring Travis Hunter during the spring game. I think when Jimmy Horn wasn't playing, I think he tweaked something. He was suited up but didn't play. But he was favoring Travis Hunter during the spring game. No shock there. But I think having another big body receiver who could get open, make it. If maybe Shedeur's feeling a little risky. I did say most of his incompletions during the spring game were him getting a little risky. Maybe him getting risky down the field, throwing a jump ball. Marion Miller just come down with it. I could see it happening. These freshman wide receivers are always. I think wide receiver is probably one of the few positions at the college level where you could just come in right away and kind of. I think you could be more useful right away compared to like lineman or safety corner, whatever. Maybe I think it takes more adjusting. But Marion Miller, look out for him. I think he could be he could be a key target for them. They obviously brought Javon Antonio, the Northwestern State transfer, 6'4", so they do have a big body receiver. But if Omarion is able to kind of learn the playbook quicker, showcase his speed, and showcase why he was rated so highly, it wouldn't shock me if he's the guy out there. I want to thank you guys again for making Locked On Buffs your first listen of the day. Appreciate you guys for tuning in every day. Make sure to like, subscribe, share. We are nearing, we're going to be nearing 3,000 followers here pretty soon, which I greatly appreciate. Let's get that number up. Let's keep that number rising. Have a great episode tomorrow with Adam from 24/7. We're going to be talking about all the things Colorado that you need to know. Then I'm going to collaborate with him. It's going to be a whole thing. You guys are going to love it. I will see you guys tomorrow. You guys have a great Wednesday. Again, make sure to drop your questions below for the mailbag. Put a little mail emoji next to it so that way I know for sure. Or just ask and I'll make sure to answer it on Friday. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.